Hey everybody, I'm here today to talk to you about some tips for wearing a baseball cap for bald people. That's right, if you're bald and you want to wear a baseball cap, these are some tips for you. I'll be going over 5 simple tips, okay? I don't wear a baseball cap all the time, but I do wear one often enough that I'm able to come up with some tips. I am indeed bald myself. So yeah, these are some tips that I would sort of tell anybody that's bald that wants to wear a baseball cap as well. And they don't necessarily apply to people with hair. Most of these are like bald people only kind of things with regards to baseball caps. Some of them can be cross applied to, people that have hair as well and people that are bald, but most of them are like a bald people exclusive kind of tip for the most part. Anyways, let's get into the tips. Tip number 1, wipe your sweat constantly. You are going to be sweating a lot. Now, people that have hair, their hair absorbs the sweat and then usually it'll dissipate before it ends up making its way to the hat or to the outside world. Okay. But you and me, because we're bald, the sweat just immediately goes to the hat. So, basically wipe your sweat constantly or else your hat is going to end up being soaked. So if you have a towel or something that you have nearby, a paper towel, a tissue, or just like a sweat towel or an armband or something like that, just wipe your sweat constantly, or else your hat is going to be soaked with sweat if you're wearing it on a warm day or when you're doing a workout or something like that. So yeah, make it a point to remove your hat and wipe your sweat constantly and then put your hat back on. You will be thankful because your hats will last much longer. And I'll go over that in just a moment with another tip. Okay. Anyways, moving on to tip number 2. Tip number 2, don't get a cap that's too loose. Okay. Now, because you don't have hair usually will push the cap out. Okay, number 1, it'll push the baseball cap out, but it also gives a little bit of friction so that the cap won't fall off. Because you don't have hair, you don't have anything pushing the cap out, and you don't have any friction. So if you get a cap that's just slightly too loose, and you start sweating or you start moving your head around, that cap is just gonna go off, flying off. Okay, so don't get a cap that's too loose. Make sure don't get one that's too tight either, but definitely you want to get one that's like kind of snug. So like I said, obviously you don't want to get a cap that's too tight. You don't want one that's too tight. But when you're bald, you absolutely do not want one that is too loose. Okay? So you want to avoid getting a cap that is too loose. For sure, when you're bald, avoid getting a cap that is too loose. And you also want to avoid getting a cap that's too tight. You don't want that either. So you want to get one that's just snug enough where it fits basically perfectly. And the fitment is especially important when you're bald because, like I said, you don't have that hair to push out against the cap and you don't have that hair to create friction. So it can just pop off your head like when you're moving around. It can just fly off your head. Just like glasses. If your glasses are too loose, you move your head and you're sweaty, the glasses are just going to come flying off when you're bald. I've experienced that many times and I've done many videos on how to avoid that and prevent that. So yeah, basically get one that fits just right, and it's super important to do when you're bald. Obviously, everyone should get a hat that fits just right, but when you're bald, it is super important. It is even more important to get a hat that fits just right when you're bald. Okay? So that's it. Avoid getting one that's too loose, and also avoid getting one that's too tight. Get one that fits perfectly snugly, just right. And we just made a rhyme all the time. Okay. Anyways, moving on. I think that was a rhyme. Anyways, we rhyme all the time. And now we're moving on to the next tip. Tip number 3, you will get sweat stains. Be prepared, okay? Basically, you're going to go through hats faster than other people because you're going to be sweating. Even if you wipe your sweat constantly, you're going to get sweat stains on your hat, and you're going to need new hats more often than someone that has hair. Plain and simple. Be prepared, okay? So don't go buy the most expensive hat that you want. You're going to get sweat stains. You can remove the sweat stains, but I'm telling you, you're going to get sweat stains faster than anybody that has hair. You're going to go through hats faster in terms of like they're too stained and I don't want to deal with it, I don't want to fix it, let's get a new hat. Okay, you're going to do that faster than someone that has hair. So just be prepared for the sweat stains that you're going to get. Simple as that. Okay, because you're bald, you don't have any hair to absorb the sweat, and without any hair to absorb the sweat goes to the hat. And like I said, you should wipe your head constantly. That'll prolong the life of your hat, but inevitably sweat is going to make its way onto your hat faster than someone that has hair, which will in turn create sweat stains, which will in turn cause you to either clean your hats more often or get new hats more often than someone that has hair. Plain and simple. We're moving on because I think I explained that way more than enough. Moving on to tip number 4. Tip number 4. Sorry, I wrote really messy. My writing is messy in general, but this is especially messy. So I'm going to read this one slowly so I can try and decipher my writing. Oh, I think I know what I think I already know what I said. Okay, so we're going to move on to tip number 4. Tip number 4 is don't try to hide your baldness. Now, this is more of a confidence tip. A lot of people use hats to hide their baldness, okay? Be proud of the fact that you're bald, okay? Be proud of the fact that you don't have hair and you're bald. Plain and simple. You can use a hat to hide your baldness. I get it. Some people are not comfortable yet, but don't use a hat in the long term to hide your baldness. Maybe you want to use a hat to hide your baldness at the beginning. It's new to you. It's fresh. You're like, okay, you know what? I don't want to show it off just yet. But eventually, the hat's got to come off. You wear a hat for sun protection. You wear a hat for style. Don't wear a hat to hide your baldness. Let your baldness show. You got to be confident. Simple as that, okay? Like I said, if you're using a hat to hide your baldness temporarily, do what you got to do. But in the long term, don't use it as a long-term solution. Use it for sun protection. Use it for style. But don't use it to hide your baldness in the long term. Show off your bald head. You're bald and beautiful and bold. And yeah, just that's it. Represent for all the bald people in the world. All right. Moving on to the last tip, the final tip for this video, tip number 5. And once again, my messy writing. My writing is messy. I have messy writing, and I'm trying to decipher. Ooh, just turn the windshield wipers on. I'm trying to decipher what I wrote here. Tip number 5 is, oh yeah, perfect. So tip number 5 is you should get an adjustable one. So you should get an adjustable hat, and I'll tell you why. When you first put your hat on, it's going to be new, and then it's going to sort of expand as you wear it, as you break it, and it's going to get a little bit looser for the most part. So this is, like I said, you're going to get a hat that fits snugly and it's going to expand. And guess what? When you are bald, that expanding hat is going to be a problem. It's going to be too loose. But if you have an adjustable one, you just tighten it up once it loosens up by itself, okay? In addition, when you first put your hat on, it might be tight enough because you're not sweating. And then as you start sweating, it might feel like it's too loose. You can then tighten it up, okay? Adjustable hats, in my opinion, for bald people are the key. Now, I know you might want your fitted hat. I totally understand that it's a style thing, blah, blah, blah. But if you have the ability to get an adjustable hat and still have the style that you want in terms of the cap that you're considering, I would highly recommend choosing an adjustable one. As a bald person, it will make your life so much easier because you can always adjust it according to the situation. As the hat loosens up, as you break the hat in and it loosens up, you can adjust it to make it slightly more snug. As you start sweating and the hat feels looser, you can adjust it to not fall off your head as easily. So yeah, honestly, that's truly it. Those are 5 crucial tips for wearing a baseball cap for bald people. And yeah, that's it. Hopefully they will help you out. And yeah, I truly have nothing else to say, so I'm gonna roll this outro. Let's do this. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more good videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.